Hey guys, this is Frank with Pirate Ninja. Gonna be going over another Wildstar add-on with you. Today's is PotatoUI. This is done by PotatoUI and is version 2.7. This is an add-on that basically replaces your current UI and gives you more condensed, clean, and actually a little bit more information out of the UI that you're using now. My favorite part of this UI is it uses percents to show your health and things like that. So it kind of helps me out a little more. I'm going to put the curse page in the description below as normal, but I just want to go ahead and open this picture right here that they have for you that I think is very useful. Kind of gives you an idea of what the resources look like for each class. I'm going to show you the stalker one. And I was going to show the engineer one too, but they're very similar. The only difference is it shows your bosses. But as you can see, like the Esper shows each of your little ticks here. Medics, you have it's customized per class. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what it looks like in game. So we're here in game, and we see right away. This is it right here. This is the basics of it. This is my sprint bar right here. So don't worry about that. Actually, I'm gonna probably get rid of that. But we have my shield, which is separated from my health, and then my resources. Now, when you're first putting it in, they'll actually have an additional resource bar here. I got rid of that, feeling that it was a little redundant, but that's up to you. We have our level. We have that I'm a soldier and Dominion, woo-woo, and a stalker, all on the side there. We have my picture in 3D. I can make that 2D to help out with frames if I wanted to. Again, and then we have the buffs. The main reason I like this add-on is right here, just these percents. It just helps me out a little more. And then my target is over here, and then the target of my target over here. Now, maybe you're saying, you know what, that's just too cluttered, or I don't like where they're at, or I don't like the size. This add-on has a very simple and so useful editing tool, familiar or similar to Bartender for those of you who are World of Warcraft fans. So up here you have this. Now you're able to hide this, thank God, because it's kind of big and bulky. But you just click Edit, and then you're able to drag things around, which is kind of sweet. So, like I was saying, I wanted to get that sprint bar out of the way, so I could just edit, never show in full. No, I just don't want it to ever show it. And then you're able to change the position and size of it. So let me do that real quick. Let me change the size of it so we can see a little bit what we're looking at here. This is positioning and size. So I'm going to change this to, let's say, just 100, and should cut it in half. So actually, that's kind of nice size. Actually, I kind of like that. And then height. Maybe I want it to be a little bit thinner. Let's go. I'm going to do half again. Let's go 15. Yeah, you know what? That's a pretty good sprint bar. I'm going to actually keep that one. That's pretty good. So there you go. So now you have your new sprint bar. You can move it around. I'm going to put it right underneath my guy's feet so I can see while I'm walking around. Special cast, stuff like that. That actually could be probably smaller too. Let's go ahead and change that again. And see, certain bars have way more options. So let's look at the options we have for this particular bar. We have show frames. That's this bar. Always when it's not full, while you're in combat, or never. So a little bit of a change there. I probably would just go when I'm in combat. You want to show icons on there. Yeah, you want them the left or the right, or none of them. I'm gonna have them on the left. This is gonna show the tool that I'm currently using. So if you know how there's certain quests that have tools that you press T on or stuff like that, or G if you're using for path. So there's that. You got the background and the borders. Those are future abilities to come in the future. I can tell already that there's a lot of future content coming for this add-on. I always love to see that. There's another add-on that I'm going to be talking about later on, that they actually just stopped doing future patches. They're going to create a whole new add-on, and so things like that we need to be aware of so we can change, because bugs are going to show up just as usual, and there's not going to be a fix for it. So, anyways, you're able to do the positioning again by X and Y. You have your width and your height. That's what I want to change right now. So now I'm going to do it by numbers, but you could also just simply put your mouse in the corner like this. You see how it has the two arrows, and you just shrink it like you want, like that, and you'll see that the numbers adjust for you. And so it's nice and clean. And you just move it over. You know, maybe I want it kind of over here a little bit more, just tucked away, but I do want to see it. There you go. It's actually a pretty good spot. Um, then we can change the colors if you don't care for the colors, but I think those are nice and obvious colors. I'm going to keep those. But say I want to kind of just barely see when it's fully charged. So I'm going to have that kind of be a little bit more transparent. Right around there. Okay, and then the text. You can change font, you can change size, you can have it bold, you can have it underlined, outlined. You're able to go how you want it to, what position you want it to be in, and stuff like that. So many options. I think it's pretty basic. They did a really good job. Like if you hover over something, great. Now I'm saying it and I can't find an example. A lot of things that you hover over, nothing on this page apparently, will actually give you the details of that option, so that you're able to kind of like see exactly what this affects. And then you're able to adjust the multi-tab cast bar. And there's a lot of features that are coming up soon, so let's wait and see. Once we have these features coming up, I'll show you more about it. But that's the gist of bar editing. And then there's actually, okay, so we're able to edit all these bars, move them around, shrink, grow. I'll probably make these all a little bit smaller later on. Actually, let me do that now so I can show you something kind of important here. So say I like the way these are all stacked up on top of each other, but I want to adjust them small, and I want to just drag and drop. So let's go ahead and lock them together. You press the lock on the side here, and then you can put your little cursor in the corner. Let's go to this corner here. And they are supposed to drag together. Oh no, I'm sorry. My bad. So they actually drag like this together. So that's still useful. Sorry about that. But then you're able to move them around together, and it keeps them kind of all uniform. And then I'm just going to shrink them down by hand. So we have the player debuff smaller. Now to be precise, I would typically do this by the numbers. But just for the sake of what most people are probably going to do, we'll just do it like this. Just because it feels like at their original size, this size here, they're a little bit big and gaudy. Now because I have them locked, you'll notice that I move around and they all stay together. I'll have to unlock them and move them closer together if I want to do that. So anyways, I won't go into all doing this. So anyways, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Kind of gives you an idea of this ability to just change the UI that's currently there, give you a little bit more information. Now, you go out of edit mode, so everything's set in stone. And this is what it's going to look like when you're running around when you target something, which I'll just target myself. You'll see the target and then what they're clicking on. So if you're fighting something and you're like the tank, or they just happen to be hitting you, it'll show, boom, yourself here. And then you're able to go ahead and you're able to copy settings. So like you say you have multiple characters or you have like multiple accounts or whatever, you're able to actually save the settings and move them around with you. So let's go to the actual, this is PotatoUI settings. It's this fourth button over, and here we see a little bit more options that we have. You're able to force it to save the settings every time you close it. I'm gonna go and turn that on. Then we're able to have it to where, this is what I was talking about before, where you hover over and it actually shows you the information next to it. Free position based on center. You're able to do all this. Prevent text overlap. I don't have that on just because it's not needed to me. It actually looks kind of odd when it doesn't do it right sometimes. The one I wanted to show you, oh here, class colors. So typically the class colors I think work really well with already what's in there. What you may want to change is like the medic and the engineer are pretty close. Stalker purple, though, that just tells me that's stalker. I already know. So say you want to change the color for the engineer. So I'm going to use a real dark blue, since that's not really used. We have a light blue but not dark blue. So I'm going to go over here and okay. So now the engineer's colors, class colors are blue. And we have the hostile and friendly, so those, we'll keep those in. And then we're able to enable or disable that resource bar that I was talking about before. It was just kind of an extra bar and not really needed. So I would go ahead and just disable that, because you already have one that's already in the UI that it has for, next to the character's face, this one. Now, this is first, let me repeat myself, this is for a stalker. So that bar is pretty simple. You may want to keep your UI, your resource UI up, just because if you have something that's a little more complicated, like a Esper or something like that, you want to be able to see that. Um, it's I think it's a pretty simple UI. Oh, and to get rid of this, you just press hide. I think it's a pretty simple, and then backslash. Sorry, you have to keep changing these. Backslash potato UI to open that up again, or PUI backslash PUI. It's a nice add-on. It's got a lot of information, easy to customize. I always like when you can just drag your frames around. It just makes it so much easier. I think it's worth the download and trying it out. It's very touchy, as in like, oh, I think I like it like this, and then you change it, or when you're zoomed in, you know, like this is a good position for me, but when I'm zoomed in, might be a little bit too close, might get in my way. Definitely the other one is. Like that's a lot right there. If I were to move this down, it'd be easier. Anyways, so it's something that's gonna be some additional help. I always like the percentage, especially when I have for my enemy. I always like the percentages. So yeah, just want to show you guys it's one of the higher downloaded add-ons right now, and I hope you guys enjoy. Happy gaming.